Alright, this is video number 2 of the instructions on how to set up the Amada ProCam APX 103 that is operating on Linuxcnc. So yeah, in the part number 1 I explained how to switch the machine on, how to check all the safety switches, and to make sure that when you reference return the machine and so forth. So in this video I've made some small sketches over here of just some profiles that we're going to program. But before we get to that, I'm going to quickly just set up the tools here, and let's do it. As I said in the previous video, if you want to see on how to start up the machine and so on, you will be able to view that in the previous video. This video is just going to go about setup and programming. So let's do this. First of all, we're going to manually jog the A-axis. The A-axis I'm using for the brake itself. And to set it up, let's assume that you've changed blades and now you want to actually set it up. So what I'm going to do is I've got a 5mm piece of flat bar over here. So I'm going to put this 5mm piece of flat bar over the tool at the bottom here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jog the what do you call this thing? This thing, the brake. I'm going to jog it up manually until it touches here, and I'm going to feel if it's touching, and then we're going to say that is 5mm away from the 0 point. So what we do first of all, we're going to select the axis by pressing the left button over here, pressing the axis button until we get, I went past it now, until we get to the A-axis. Now when we've got the A-axis, now we can select our increments. We've selected it at 100 micron increments, and now we can start moving it up by turning the hand wheel. Alright, let's just go down a little bit more. As soon as I get quite close to, okay, that is close enough for now. Now I'm going to change the increments by pressing the middle button. There at the bottom where you see increments 0.1, now you see it's 1 micron, now it's 10 microns. So now I'm going to move it down 10 microns at a time, and here we will view it nicely. Okay, so this tool, as it is now, it is touching. I just want to go back and touch it again because this flat bar is a little bit bent, so I didn't see. So I'm going to go until that one is touching over there. Okay, it's still loose. I was just moving it by hand now. It's still loose. Jog it a little bit more. Okay, it's starting to get a bit tighter now. Almost. There we go. Now it's nice and hard there. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to select the Z-axis over there. Select the Z-axis, and we're going to do a touch off. I'm going to say touch off, and we're going to fill in over there that this is 5mm. There's a 5mm plate in. So sorry, not the Z-axis. This is not the Z-axis. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually the A-axis. So you select the A-axis and you do a touch off, and you say that one is 5mm from the 0, and you say okay. So now all good, and we can press the middle button again to change the increments over there. Change it to 100 micron increments, and I can turn the hand wheel clockwise, and that should release the brake. Alright, so that concludes the A-axis setup. Alright, so now if you want to set up the X-axis, so the X-axis is that guy over there. Moving left is negative, moving right is positive. That's the X-axis. Okay, now when you look at the bottom there, over there, that guy over there is the U-axis, moving in that direction. Also, moving left is negative, moving right is positive. Right. Then you've got the whole bridge over there. When it moves forward and backwards, it's synchronized. It's got two motors over there, and it's synchronized. So when I move the y-axis, the whole bridge is going to come towards me for negative and away from me for positive. Right? And then the z-axis is that guy over there moving up and down. Okay. So what we can do is we can bring the y-axis closer to us, and we're going to select the y-axis over there by pressing the left button over there. Select the y-axis, we keep it in 100 micron increments, and we jog it towards us. Come here, come to Papa. Oh yeah. Okay. Now that the y-axis is nice and close to us, we're going to select the z-axis. Okay, there, I pressed the left button and it moved the green light to the z-axis. So now when I go counterclockwise, that guy should come down. So there it's coming down, and at the same time, the right side is also coming down. Okay. Now I want the x-axis to come a little bit closer to the actual tool. So I'm moving the x-axis closer to the tool. Alright. Okay, and then I want to do the same with the u-axis. The u-axis is the right hand finger, the right hand backstop, if you want to call it that, and we jog it counterclockwise to bring it in the negative direction. As you can see there, busy jogging. So obviously for this tutorial I just have one blade in so that we can see a little bit better what's going on at the back there, because if all the blades are in, you can't see very nicely what's going on at the back there. Alright, so now I want to bring the Z-axis down a little bit. Z-axis, I'm going to bring it down. There you can see it's moved, both those fingers are busy moving down. Okay, and that's almost I'm going to try and get it as close as possible to where I want it. And if you see it there, that should be about Z0. Then I'm going to bring the y-axis closer to us. Right, so for this setup, you can use your own imagination and decide what you want to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this as my 0 position. So when this side of this finger is lining up plus minus with the left side of this tool, that will be X0, and then I'm going to measure another 200 millimeters or 250 millimeters to that direction, and I'm going to set that U up as 250 millimeters. Let's go get the ruler. And there she is. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the U-axis again. Alright, there I've selected the U-axis. I keep it in about 100 microns increments, and then I'm going to jog it down. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to select the U-axis. I was supposed to select the A-axis. Try again. Right, A-axis selected. So we're moving it down a little bit. What I want to do is I want to use the ruler to measure the y-axis backstop, how far it is away from us. So as you can see there, I'm coming closer, 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 closer. 0.1 of a millimeter at a time. Right, so then I'm putting the ruler up against the backstop over there. Okay, and then I can see, right, the z-axis, I would like to move it up a little bit. So I'm going to move the z-axis up a little bit. Alright. That's going to be a little bit better like that. As you can see over there. I think about there. Alright, so then I want to move the backstop, the y-axis, a bit down. So I'm just going to put a bit of pressure over here, and I'm going to move it so that the blade, where the bending point is lining up with the 30 millimeter mark. Okay, so now it's lining up with the 30 millimeter mark. So now I can set up the y-axis. Okay, so what I do is I go to Y and I say touch off, and I say that now is 30 millimeters, and I say okay, and it registers because of the encoder a little bit off, but yeah, that's 30 millimeters. Right, now I'm going to set up the z-axis because we've determined that that is good to have the z-axis as a 0 point. So I can also set up the z-axis. Z-axis, touch off, and I say okay. So now the z-axis is 0. Alright, now we can basically move the z-axis away a little bit. I use the left hand button there, and I want to move the A-axis. Actually, I want to open the press brake a bit. Alright, so to open the press brake, we're going to go clockwise direction. That's it, like that, nice and easy. And then we're going to come closer with the y-axis. Okay, that is good enough for me and Bobby McGee. And then we're going to say, right, go on the x-axis. And we're going to line the x-axis up with the end of the blade. And then we can set up that as the 0 for the x-axis. X, touch off. Say okay. And then the next one that we're going to use, so we're going to select the U-axis, right, and put it on any position really. And then what I can do here is just line up the end of the ruler to that, and I check there, that looks like about 232 millimeters. Right, so we can say the U-axis, that is the U-axis, right? And we can say touch off. And we can say 232 millimeters for the U axis. That's it. So there we are all set up. We've set up the A axis, which is your press brake. We've set up the X axis, the U axis, the Y axis, and we've set up the Z axis, all ready for rumbling. Okay, so next one, this is the end of this video. Let's try and keep it short. This one's gone to 15 minutes, I see. And yeah, so the next video that we're going to do is going to be a video to explain how to program this profile over here. All right, this is Dickie Durant, and this is on the operation of your Amada Chrome Cam running on Linuxcnc, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoy this.